Good evening, fellow members of the Killing Wall. This is your Rant Commander, Baron Voltage. This has been bugging me for a while. It's been bugging me for quite a bit. I think some of you out there might be to blame. Not sure. It's got me so nuts that one of my bits of my mustache is refusing to conform with the rest. That's part of the problem. You want to know what I'm talking about? We're talking about kids. Kids. Now, I don't have problems with Rugrats. I don't. Lance, good to see you. I'm going to pick up your rifle tonight. We're taking aim at some targets tonight. Oh, yeah. We're going after kids tonight. But, not just kids. Their parents, too. Hiya, Dizzy. Welcome to the show. What we're talking about tonight are kids. Now, some of you might be wondering, what the fuck does he have a problem with when it comes to kids? Children are lovely. I'm not talking about children. No. I'm talking about kids. I'm talking about genetic debris. Best way to put it, really. Okay? Some of you are probably parents. Kudos to you for entering into that. I dig it. I dig it. I do. I do. But some of you forgot some of the lessons that our parents taught us that you should be teaching your crotch fruit. Okay? Star, welcome. Oh, I was aggravated 20 minutes ago. Way beyond that. Oh. You see, some of you are well adjusted. I think. Even by my standards, well adjusted. Okay. Here's what I mean. The concept of discipline. Okay? Dizzy, your poor mother. My goodness. Lance, I'm going to get there. I promise. And kudos to your mother for mothering 12 kids. Seriously. You deserve a fucking medal. Hands down. Oh, gods. Okay? You see, some of us were, I'm going to quote a meme here, but it fits. That, you know what? My parents beat the daylights out of me too. When I was wrong. When I needed discipline. They beat me raw. And it affected me. It afflicted me with a horrible condition that's called respect for my elders and authority. Yeah. When you do wrong, you don't get put aside and told you did wrong. No. You got knocked out. And that time that you spent on the ground, that was time out. There was no corner. There was the belt. There was the hand. Now, I'm not saying how to properly raise your kids or discipline your kids. But there's scientific studies out there that show that negative reinforcement is 10 times more effective than positive. And why is that? Because a reward system will always be triggered, always trigger particular behavior. And you know what? It is about moderation, Elizabeth. And Dizzy, like I said, here's the thing. My father didn't beat me. My mother did. Ooh. My father, on rare occasions, would dip in. But my mother, oh, she'd unleash hell. Okay? Thing is that you have these things that have happened in society. I'll explain it. Some of you might agree with me. Some of you don't. Heart if you agree. Frowny face if you don't. You probably will. Maybe. Some of the millennial parent, by millennial parents or Gen X parents, and you know what? Here's the thing. I'm a Gen Xer. Okay? I'm a Gen Xer. But there is a very key difference between discipline and abuse, Lance, and I will definitely go there. Here's what I'll tell you. You got parents. Joe, the Bible also says don't approach a woman when she's on her period. Nice guidebook. I don't look to it for rules. I will say this, though. A lot of people that have become parents in the last maybe 10, 15 years or so, okay? Here's where the problem is. They're taking a look at the discipline they received. And instead of realizing that it taught them how to be the people that they are, compassionate individuals that have learned from society and are attempting to contribute to it, instead, they're looking at that as, I'll never do that to my kid. And in doing so, they're avoiding the particular aspects of discipline that make somebody be who they are. Discipline, which means rules, which means doing everything humanly possible to instill. Jessica, that's exactly what I just said. The Gen Xers are the problem. They've taught millennials that if they do wrong, they get a timeout. Timeout is an interesting little concept. That started within the last 20 years or so, I've learned. Maybe the last 16 years or so. That's why I said parents, people that became parents maybe 10, 15 years ago, okay? Closer to around then, okay? They're the ones that are taking a look at parenting styles from back then, from how their parents raised them, and purposely doing the opposite, neglecting the idea that it made them who they are. It's the ultimate destructive cycle. Don't be how your parents were, and what you end up with is exactly what the problem is. And these days, yes, Lance, a whole lot of topics. I don't want to ignore you guys. I just want to make sure. No problem, Nicole. It was good seeing you anyway. Thank you for popping in. Here's the bit. Parents today, a lot of them. And there are a few good ones out there that legitimately do raise their kid. And I'm not refusing to acknowledge that there is a difference between abuse and discipline. Discipline is good, abuse is not. Okay? Without a doubt. And there is a fine line. And it's the responsibility of a parent to know the fucking difference. Because I've experienced both. I have. But, you know what? When I did get my ass whooped a little too much, You best believe I learned. Hands down. Now, I'm not saying you should beat your kids. I'm not. What I'm saying is that when you have certain generations, they take a look, growth-wise, from what they came from. They take the best parts and they pass it on, and they ignore the parts that they feel were bad. The problem is that a lot of people tend to look at things like discipline that's corporal punishment as negative. And I'm wondering why that is. I'm really wondering why that is. Because when I think about it, there is a very strong proponent to the idea that when you put your hand to a stove, you realize it's hot. That's pain. When you put your tongue to a pole in the winter and it sticks, that's pain. When you decide to walk up to the biggest bully in the yard and throw a nut punch, and then you get your ass handed to you, what do we learn? To go run to the teacher? No. Because you started it. But kids these days are being taught to institute or coax a behavior and then attempt to justify it. There's a headcanon for you right there. And I don't blame the kids for that. I blame the parents. Some of you are to blame. I know that's hard to hear. Some of you are to blame. Maybe this is a different mindset. You'll adapt. Because I'll tell you, nothing aggravates me more than the entitlement of parents. Okay? You want a good example of parental entitlement? These days, give you a good example. It's a good one. You'll like it. You'll like it. Okay? This is something that you want to what? Thankfully, my niece, Gabriella, who just turned 10 today, wasn't like when she was younger. And didn't have a mother that did the same. This is why my sister, right now, is a little bit more gray and can probably throw a chancla from about 6. Oh, yes. I love it. It starts arguments, Corey, but it's good. Okay? My sister is about 10 times more likely to throw a chancla from 40 freaking feet away and still catch me at the back of the head around a corner. Because she don't take no shit. When a parent has reached a point where it's not that they hate their kids, they don't. But they are not willing to take any shit. They're instilling that value. Don't take no shit from nobody. But also recognize that when you step to a fucking behemoth, you're gonna get stomped on. Respect for authority. Plain and simple. Gets no fucking easier. But, back to point. I'll give you a good example of entitled parent. How many of us remember going to movie theaters? I know this is a weird concept for some of you younger folks, but actually going to a movie theater. Okay? Now, when you've gone to a movie theater, how often did you hear an infant in that movie theater? An infant. We're talking still in diapers. Okay? Still in diapers. Probably in a freaking carrier. How often do we hear that? There are memes about people strangling other people for doing that. But why does that happen? And it does happen. I've gone to R-rated films and there's a 3-year-old with their parents going, why? Why? And I'm not asking a question. I'm saying why with a level of contempt for humanity when I say that. Why? It's a child that will not remember what they saw. I had to use the knife hand. Okay? You could put a picture of Goofy on a microwave door and tell them they're watching the new SpongeBob movie. And they won't know the fucking difference when they're that fucking young. The fuck is wrong with you taking your 3-year-old kid to an R-rated film because you couldn't miss the latest John Wick? Seriously. The fuck is wrong? Other things. How many people remember safety? Safety. The idea of putting helmets, safety gear on things that us growing up, over the age of 32, okay, I'm being a little generous there, don't remember existing. How many people remember lawn darts? That long. You just threw them into the air and let them fall where they may. I remember when helmets weren't required. Childproof lighters? Fuck it. Hand the kid a box of matches. I'm serious, kids. The idea that we childproof so much out there, it's taken the discovery of children out of reality. There was a stand-up comedian that said a considerable amount about this, and I am in full agreement. People need to be allowed to realize, yes, Dizzy, BB gun wars were awesome. Who remembers airsoft? You remember when that was given to kids? You know what? I'm feeling generous tonight. Your Rant Commander is feeling generous tonight. You want to know how generous the Rant Commander is tonight? I'll tell you. If any of you can tell me the answer to a particular bit of minutia, by the time this stream is over, I will give you a piece of hand-drawn art. I will mail it to you. I will receive an email from you with your mailing address, and I will mail you the art. And for those of you that are wondering whether or not I can actually draw, let me tell you. I can art. How are you doing, Skippy? Let me see. What art? Oh, this is a good one. I like it. This is art. Not sure if anybody can really see here. I got bored. We're talking about kids today, Skippy. We're talking about kids. And if somebody could give me an answer to a piece of minutia that I give tonight, I will get in touch with you. And hopefully, I will get you immediately a purposely written, purposely drawn, personalized piece of art from me. Well, I'm glad to have you here, Hummer. You see, I like rewarding my Killing Wall staff. I do. Fellow members of the Killing Wall. I was in the Air Force, Skippy. Served the better part of 10 years. Trying to see if I got any other good art in here, so that this way you guys will be incentivized. Not in this book. We'll be in a bigger piece. I'm fans with Dacre Stoker. I'm friends of his. And you know what? Those of us that have served, we're thankful for all of you. Because people that appreciate us, we appreciate you back. I don't know what you're talking about. Are you talking about that guy Baron Voltage? He's on Friday nights. That's a different show. You're talking to Rant Commander tonight. I'm an artist of the written word. The word of the Killing Wall. So, you got kids in movie theaters. The idea of participation trophies obsesses me to beyond belief. Parents that tend to enable this. And like I said, Skippy, thankful for you. The world today needs to realize parents are not putting their kids in line. Just because your kid wants to do the thing doesn't make it a good idea. Our parents sure as shit put us in line. They taught us a very healthy and very productive respect for authority. In case you haven't noticed, I'm not really seeing too many people out there that honestly... Hummer, I'm friends with Dacre Stoker, the guy who's the nephew of Bram Stoker, who created Dracula. So yes, I do know about Dracula. If you want to thank me, share the shit out of this. Share it. Share it, share it, share it. I've got 21 people watching. I should see there are 21 shares of this stream. Post it to your timelines. Post it to your big groups. Tell your friends. Get everybody you can. Watch Hellfire Radio on Facebook. I guarantee you they will love it. Because you know what? They will only make the firing squad that much bigger. And the Killing Wall needs members. Oh, yes. Always share. Every new episode, share the shit out of it. Like it. Thumbs up it. Heart it. Smiley face emoji. I'd say the care heart thing, but not my thing. People, you want your kids to grow up to be respectable people within society? Teach them that it's not okay to question authority right then and there. Tell them to go through the actual system itself. When there are rules in place, follow those rules. Don't pick on the big bully just to prove yourself. Whatever you do, you've got nothing to prove. A person is perfectly good on their own merits. They don't need validation from others. And guess what? Shit behavior is shit behavior no matter what the motivation is. I don't care if they're tired. It's shit behavior. I don't care if they're fussy. It's shit behavior. I don't care if they had a crap childhood. It's shit behavior. Because guess what? These kids today, they're told it's perfectly okay to act out. They're going to be the ones running the country. And you don't believe me? Look who's in the chair. An entitled child. Okay? An entitled child that wasn't disciplined and was given everything they ever asked for is in the chair now. So if you think that what I'm saying maybe has no merit, think about it. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Possibly does, possibly doesn't. So, I'm going to tell you guys the question. Email me your response at baronvvoltage@gmail.com. That's baronvvoltage@gmail.com. Okay? Here's the question. You're going to like it. What, by any particular measure, is the name of the man that created the mini ball? First correct answer in my email will be the one that gets the prize, and I will reply to you back that you've won. If you've lost, I'll say sorry, correct answer has already been given, or that is incorrect. baronvvoltage@gmail.com. And I will reply. You can also message me directly at my messenger at baron_voltage. I am on Messenger. I will reply. It is a Facebook profile. If you got Messenger, you can hit me up there. Or, if you happen to miss tonight's stream, I always post the full episodes on YouTube after it's streamed here. So, that is the minutia question for the night. Who invented the mini ball? That's the question. And that's all you need to know. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, cash payments. I'm willing to take all. If you want to donate to this show, you can email me directly. I'll give you the payment information directly. It's my personal PayPal. It helps keep me fueled in coffee, cigarettes, and more or less keeps me living. Because let's face it, these days prices are going up for the most basic shit. Makes life a little bit more difficult. And like I said, share the hell out of this stream. You have to. You want me to keep coming back with the truth. Even if you have any ideas for next week's show, I'll be happy to take them. Isn't that cool? Answer in the email, and Corey, you're wrong. My email address is baronvvoltage@gmail.com. Just put in the subject line, minutia. It is not Jean. It isn't Jean-Claude Etienne Meunier. Contrary to popular belief. And I will give you a hand-drawn in graphite image. Drawn by me. Original piece of work. Come on, I got 16 of you guys watching. I'm sure you got stories. Because I know I do. Oh, goodness. You know, I can kind of speak. But before anybody even tries to tell me what the fuck am I talking about, I don't have any kids. As a matter of fact, I was a father. I was a stepfather. I'm divorced. And I may not have been the sperm donor to the child, but I was her father for the brief time I was married to her mother. And during that time, I instituted not physical discipline, but I had no problem disciplining the hell out of the kid. You see, I'm that guy that walked right into her room when she decided to be a little too uppity. Yeah, I know, right? Decided to be a little too uppity. Thank you, Candace. And took a pair of cable snips and snipped the coax to the back of her cable box. Folks, if you're going to answer, make sure you answer in the emails. If they're answered in the chat, I am not going to respond. The email, baronvvoltage@gmail.com. The only reason why I'm saying that is because I need to be able to send you the information and the image itself. And I need to be able to get your address so I can mail it to you. And I legitimately think that the big problem with parenting in the States today, because I'm sure there are other folks internationally that do watch the show. As a matter of fact, I know there are a couple of people that don't live in the States that watch the show. Is the idea that a kid can call up, and this is what it used to be called. Child Protective Services used to just be called DIFUS. And that's all a kid had to do. Was say, if you keep it up, I'll call DIFUS on you. Now, in some cases, yeah, there was a legitimate reason to do so. But then once kids realized that all they had to do was throw that word around, parents lost all the power. They lost all the power. The reason why a lot of kids these days do not, by any stretch of the imagination, show any form of respect for parental units is because they feel they don't have to. Why would they? There's no reason. Kid disagrees with parent, what are you going to do? Argue? You don't argue with a child. There's no point. You can't shout at a kid. It makes no point. The only thing you can do is institute discipline. The only thing to do. Your kid acts up, discipline. Your kid decides to go a little bit too much on a freaking rampage, discipline. No fucking reason to not. Hello, John. Welcome. Skitsy, good to see you. We're talking about kids tonight. Isn't that fun? Weak ass parents of kids that are now parents themselves, teaching their kids how to get what they want, not realizing that's backfiring on them. You want your kid to be well adjusted? Teach them not to be little shits when they're adults. Otherwise, we end up with that fucking piece of shit that got acquitted of raping that girl. I can't remember his name because honestly, it escapes me. Everybody needs some discipline, Bradley. Everybody needs some discipline. It's the only way to ensure proper behavior. Only way. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, or cash payments. Reset by wood, except I don't play music. This isn't a music show. But I do appreciate the interest. And naturally, with any and all things, discipline in public school. Okay, I think that when it comes to discipline in public school, it should not be physical. No, you know what? If there is any form of physical discipline, it is on the parents. That's one, okay? Yeah, that was mentioned earlier, Skitsy, and you know what? It is true. But as far as like discipline in school is concerned, detention should still be a thing. Okay? Make the kid write the shit on the chalkboard or write something on paper 100 times. Purposely deny them the things that have a tendency to make the kid want to do it again. A lot of parents don't like the fact that they have to pick their kid up later than they normally would because they missed the bus because they got stuck in discipline. Totally get it. So guess what? Have detention on Saturday. Make the parents have to drive the kid to school to be in detention. Because now the kid's going to get it from two different directions. One, the school offering this discipline, and two, the parent pissed because their kid decided to go off into discipline. And it stops something from the parents doing. It stops the parents from doing the one thing that they've been doing for quite a while. They're deciding not to take responsibility, and they're blaming the schools. You didn't cater to my child specifically, therefore it's the school's fault. And that's another thing, Bradley. Thank you for pointing that out. We got too many parents these days that wish that their parent was their friend when they were growing up. So now they're trying to be their kid's friend. Guess what? No. When you're both adults, sure, maybe, a little bit. But still remember, you're a parent. You don't be your child's friend. You be your child's parent. Kids should fear the idea of pissing off their mother or their father or their mothers or their fathers, whatever sort of dynamic you have. They should fear that. It should be something that they're terrified of. It should never be something that a kid's like, so. You got broken up families where there is a divorce and there's going to be one parent that wants to be more liked than the other. I get that. And you know what? Be the shithead parent. Be the one that disciplines. Because I guarantee you, do it well enough, the kid will respect you later on. The kid will love you later on. You know, when the freaking dopamine from the instant gratification rush goes away. And the kid has to actually do that one thing that most kids don't want to do. And that's adult. This is why I said that tonight's show is about kids. I didn't say children. I said kids. Because a lot of these people over the age of 18, they're attempting to be within society today. They never learned how to adult. They're still kids. They never bothered to learn how to sustain themselves. They never bothered to learn how to be able to take a fucking insult. They never learned how to handle criticism. The only thing they got was compliments. The only thing they got was praise. And when they don't get it, what do? They throw a temper tantrum. This is why we have Karens standing outside protesting. Because they didn't get what they wanted. And some of us never did get to be kids, Aaron. I get that. It's good seeing you. Hopefully you're out of the hospital. And yes, I do watch. Most of us, we were instilled with the idea that life isn't fair. And that if we want happiness, it isn't meant to come to us. The only thing that's guaranteed in this world is that you have the opportunity to seek it. But if you want to seek that happiness, you got to gear up. Gear up to get your happiness. Which means learn to sustain yourself. Learn to keep yourself stay sane. You want to know what? This is the only time you'll hear me say this. I'm glad we're in a pandemic. I'm glad that we're quarantined. I'm glad that people are stuck having to be at home. Because you know what it's doing? It's showing us, one, who doesn't know how to adult. And two, it's showing a lot of the people that never had to adult that they need to learn to. This is the next stage of evolution. This is a hard lesson a lot of people are learning now. That there are people that never bothered to grow the fuck up. I have an email address, Hummer. I've said it a couple of times, but I'll gladly say it again. BaronVvoltage@gmail.com. Bravo, Alpha, Romeo, Oscar, November, Victor, Victor, Oscar, Lima, Tango, Alpha, Golf, Echo @gmail.com. And I'm in the States. The pandemic is teaching us all. It is teaching us all how to adult. It is teaching us all that many people that never learned, either A, are finally stepping up, or B, collapsing under the pressure. It's social Darwinism, and it's beautiful. It's a battle between good and evil. I remember you saying that, Hummer. I'm glad to see I got some folks out from Eastern Europe that are actually checking me out too. But seriously, folks, these days, people are learning. They are learning that things are not as easy as they thought they would be. That life isn't handed to them on a silver fucking platter. And not everybody's going to cave to their demands. People are going to stand fast. Because now, it's not just to sustain a single household. It's to sustain the home. All of this. I might take a trip to Eastern Europe at some time, Hummer. Kevin, good to see you. Welcome to the Killing Wall. Either Google Translate is having some fun with them, or my brother Joshua is somewhere. Yeah, Dizzy, it's kind of scary. The numbers are climbing every single day all over the country. I mean, I'm in one of the most hardest hit states. I'm actually in the second hardest hit state in the country right now. I've seen it once, but I wouldn't mind seeing it again, Hummer. I would not mind visiting Targovishta or Zhigishwara again. Forgive me, my Ukrainian is very rusty. I haven't had to speak it in so long. I don't even count it as one of the languages I could speak. But, you know, I forget what I was talking about there for a hot second. Yeah, numbers, that's right. I mean, where I'm at, distancing is insane. I can't even report into work without getting a temperature scan. Dizzy, I'll tell you this, okay? Call up somebody to get your stuff delivered to you. Call up a friend that doesn't have it, have them bring it to you. You've got like 12 kids at your disposal. You know, and I've heard you the first time, Hummer, but thank you for the offer. You know, Diz, seriously, get one of your kids to go out there. Pick up supplies. Plenty of packed ramen. Ramen, rice, bottled water. Don't hoard TP. Don't be that asshole. We'll kind of wind down a little bit. It's that time of night. A lot of people tell me, you were in the military, but you got long hair. I'm like, yeah, the second I got out, I started growing this shit out. Be damned. It's that kind of night. Well, good to meet you, Paul Nicolay. I think if the world today, and this is personal opinion, okay? If we quarantine everybody for 14 days, not only make it mandatory, but make it illegal to be outside, just 14 days. Just saying. You know how many diseases will be eradicated within 2 weeks? Influenza would not exist in the States. Or in the world if they did it worldwide. Yeah. Believe me. I got a monkey's ass growing back here. I refuse to freaking cut the hair. I don't want it growing any further. I'm glad to hear it there, Homer. But yeah, if we quarantine 14 days, don't let anybody out, institute martial law on the streets, have all the utilities shelter in place, have people volunteer to do it, give them nice cash bonuses for doing so, everything will be eliminated. I'm sure it is, Hummer. And you know the level of discipline people have with their ability to do so. Aaron, I'll be honest with you, I haven't had a chance to look at them. Everything in their mother has basically been hitting me over the last couple of weeks. So I've been lucky to even make it here. I almost didn't make the show tonight. So you'd be surprised at how everything has a tendency to hit. But I do have them currently saved for me to watch. They're on my on my watch list. Once I do watch them, I'll be getting in touch with you directly to try and figure out maybe we could do something. Crystal, it is good to see you. Well, at least through Dizzy. But think of the diseases that will be gone in 14 days. Influenza, common cold, COVID-19, gone in 2 weeks. If we just shelter in place everybody. Make it illegal to be outside. Just 2 weeks. That's it. You're caught outside, you're dead. Dizzy, I'll be honest with you right now. Stay within civilization, but stay within civilization where you can be found if there is an emergency. Believe me, I would have been behind you about a couple of weeks ago if I legit thought that things could happen, but not these days. I can't say I've ever had the pleasure of a Romanian woman, Hummer. But if you get one to the States, I'm pretty damn sure I wouldn't mind meeting one. In 2 weeks, this whole thing would be over. There'd be no more quarantine and life could get back to normal. We just need shit shut down for 2 weeks. And congratulations to you and yours, Dizzy. Hopefully, the kid will grow up and respect authority and be productive. They get the blessing of the Rant Commander. What's the kid's name? And while we're waiting on that, I'm gonna give you guys a lovely little PSA here, okay? Because I like leaving everybody here with, I guess you could say, something to take home and really think on. These days, we're living in a really shit society where people are more considerate of just themselves than those around them, regardless of whether or not they're loved ones. And I highly recommend that you take a moment and think that the actions that you take today will affect those of tomorrow. Stay inside, be safe, mask up. If you have to go to work and you are essential, then guess what? Take every single measure of protection. Anastasia. Now that's a beautiful name. Anastasia is a very beautiful name. I have more than 48. What you need to do is remember that those around you are just as scared as you are. They're just as terrified as you are. You're not alone in this. But lead by example when you can. It's the only way. Only way that we'll get through this in one piece. And I know we can do it. Keep the hope front strong. Be careful out there. You're going to make my inner Jersey come out here. Okay? You got the opportunity to go to the beach while this shit's going on, don't do it. If you see this shit on the shelves, don't hoard it. If your favorite store decides to open up and you want to get that new dress or that new suit or whatever, don't do it. Wait until this shit's open up. I guarantee you, it'll be there. You just wait. Patience pays off. And those of us that did wait will be the stronger ones for it. Because I guarantee you, I'm not the only one that's looking at every single person on my friends list and seeing who decided to honor the quarantine or not. I'm watching. And I'll remember. And it's one of the few times where I know my memory will be preserved. Check in on those you love. On those you care about. I guarantee you, there are folks right now in this chat, yes I am, Hummer, that haven't checked on their relatives in weeks. And it's understandable, you know, you got a lot of shit going on. Check in on your relatives, see how they're doing. It's because I'm in Jersey there, Dizzy. Spend 99.9% of my life here. But I was born in Rhode Island. Figure that one out. Let me see what time it is. Still got about another 6 minutes. I care about each and every single freaking one of you. I really do. I may not know you. May not have ever met you. But I give a fuck about you. You know why? Because you're my firing squad. And every single one of you got my message in your head. And that means something. It's a shame, Hummer. It's a nice place to be. And I'm in here. Which means, guess what? I'm a part of you. And I want you all to be here when this shit's over with. I want you to come out as stronger. I don't raise stupid riflemen. Y'all got the discipline. Pass it on to your kids. Pass it on to your friends. Share the shit out of this. If you want to donate, donate. I'm more than happy to freaking take the cash, if anything, just to keep myself sustained. Maybe get myself a new razor. Dizzy, I'll tell you what. I got past episodes on the Hellfire channel. I got a YouTube channel, Baron Voltage. Baron space Voltage. You can find me there. I got some of my past episodes on there too. But you know what? You could always find me here. And every single one of you, this goes for all of you. You can either email me at Baron V Voltage. It's 2 V's. Don't ask me why. Baron, BaronVVOLTAGE at gmail.com. I respond to every message I get. And if you contact me on Facebook Messenger at Baron space Voltage. Baron space Voltage. I will respond to a message from there too. I will. Because you know what? Nobody really messages me too often. If I get a message on there, I'm happy to get it. And I'll have a conversation. We'll yammer up. We'll talk the shit. Who knows? I have a fan that normally is on here. He offered me a suggestion for a show once I took it. And guess what? One of my best viewed shows. Hey, you guys want to see a trick? I'll show you a trick. I had to learn this for the manual dexterity. Fuck. I gotta do it again. Thing is that I got struck by lightning here, and that's the reason why these two fingers don't really work. I absolutely will, Dizzy. Remember, message me, not the Hellfire page, but message me. Because if it gets to the Hellfire page, it might get lost in the inbox. There are other shows that go on, and I guarantee you, they are great shows. They get a ton of messages. And you know what? I mean, it's hard to get a hold of me there. So I usually tell people, contact me directly. I'm happy to yammer. There's merch that's available on Hellfire, and who knows, maybe I'll have my own merch. Then get you guys little hats like mine. Maybe even mugs. Although I think if I were to get merch and a mug, it will be like, what's pissing me off today? Aaron, it was a long time ago, though. I got struck when I was 16. Yes. Voltage merch. Imagine me opening up a whole fucking clothing line. Who knows? Maybe I'll even sell these tags. Baron Voltage. There's a space between the Baron and the Voltage. Or you can message me directly through that same thing. It's on Facebook. It's a personal profile, but by all means, message me there. I'm happy to get a message there. You can also contact me on my Gmail at Baron V Voltage. Instead of a space between it, it's all one word. Baron V Voltage. BARONVVOLTAGE at gmail.com. Also, share the hell out of this. Because you know what? The more shares, the more that, the Hellfire guys, they know that, hey, his show is actually watched. Let's keep them. Keeps the engagement, helps out the station. Buy their merch too. Their merch is available at hellfireradio.com. They have some really kick-ass shit. If I actually get money, I might buy some of their merch for myself. I'll show it off. I will wear it on the stream. And I'll give you a shout out to be like, you're the one that helped me get it. Dawn, good to see you again. You were quiet tonight. Just hopping on now? Oh, God. I like it when I see the same names pop up because at least I know who I'm talking to. So I'm happy to see folks actually hopping in. I'm glad I got a regular viewing base. And I'm happy to see new faces too. The more new faces, the better. But share the hell out of this. Seriously. Dizzy, I might get back to you tonight. I live over on the East Coast, so yeah, it's late for me, but it's not that late for you. Or at least I don't think. Any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, cash payments? Alright. I think I'm going to end tonight. I want to thank you all for loading up. Make sure that you smash the hell out of that share. React the emojis. Share it to your timeline. Share it to the big groups. Tell everybody. The station has a ton of shows. We got a show every day of the week. Just not me. I mean, you got other folks on there. You got Skitsy. You got Scoops and Mischief, Oh, God. Okay? You got Dana early in the morning playing some kick-ass radio. You got Tyson. He's throwing some shit over on his radio station, too. On his show, rather. Okay? You got some new shows that are coming up. They're going to be kicking ass. All right? And you know what? Kudos to you, Dizzy. And kudos to your uncle. I'm sorry to hear that. You got my condolences there. And you know what? Subscribe to my YouTube channel. The more subscribers I get there, the better too. To everybody that tuned in, thank you for coming on. I'm happy to see you. And you know what? Baron Voltage will be here on Friday. And maybe if you message me, I'll relay the message to him. as to what to do Friday's show on. Maybe. Y'all have a good night. And remember, keep your rifles clean. Keep your sights clear. And don't be afraid to take a shot when you need to. Because every once in a while, somebody needs to be put up against the pole. Good night. Rant Commander out.